It's the Dead Panda podcast, and we talk about stuff such as stand-up comedy, improv comedy, and we ask people to share their feelings.
None of your goddamn business, Incorporated. Cool.
All right, so I've been recording for about 10 seconds already. Hi, everybody.
God damn it, you never tell us. So this is the Dead Panda podcast, and joining us we have the one, the only, Nick Josten.
Hi.
Yeah.
It's a pretty good impression of my voice. Good work.
I was trying really hard.
Myself like that all the time. Like, hi, I'm the one, the only Nick Josten.
Yeah, well, like sometimes when you were hosting at the library, you would do that intro for like every single person.
Yeah.
And it's true every single time. It's never not true.
All the one and only. They're all special little snowflakes.
Yeah. Unless you have like a clone or something, then they would be
It would still be unique in their own right.
Yeah, okay, fair enough. And sorry you're just getting to see me. It's our recording setup. Michael, he's here in spirit, but
Where is he? You're like off camera somewhere?
Yeah, I'm here too.
Yeah.
I'm recording on a different program, my side of the video, but it's for the best because I was just also sorry for the delay. I just was having a cry. I saw an extra hard man walk in, and we went through some of his issues for a little while, so I'm still a little worked up from it.
It was pretty erect.
He was just, a big man.
Ah.
Like he was extra hard.
So the question everybody wants to know, what are you drinking?
Vanilla bean black tea from Two Soul Tea.
Ooh.
Where is it?
Sounds delicious, actually.
Yeah, I forgot I had it, and there it is.
Two Soul. Is that a local place, or is
Yeah, it's over by on California and Plumas.
Okay, yeah, I've never been there.
It's in this orange little house in the middle of a parking lot.
Oh, Michael, what's that place?
Like, Sundance bookstores and.
Okay, yeah, I've been to Sundance.
Yeah, it's in that same area.
Nice. Now you can. Are they open right now for carryouts or?
No, I haven't checked. I was gonna see if I could get something when everything was closing down back in March, and I didn't make it in time. I was like a day late, and they were. But luckily, I still had a little bit of a stash hidden away on my bookshelf, so I've been getting by. I think they're doing online orders now. I was starting to look at their website, but I didn't actually pull the trigger on getting anything.
I've just been enjoying my throat coat. So, traditional medicinals throat coat. It's great if you have like a scratchy, gravelly voice, yes. And I think a lot of singers use it too, but if I were to ever like do hour-long stand-up comedy shows night after night, it might be good to use. Not saying that. What's
Is
that?
this the evil version of Luke? I got the little goatee.
Yeah. I was actually a little bit more grizzly. I looked more like you, but I trimmed it up today because, gotta look presentable.
It's been growing out since like October. It was getting big and bushy and gross looking, so I finally trimmed it down a little bit. I had to keep it growing and my hair growing for this web series thing that's filming at the end of May and in June. I'm supposed to have long hair and just kind of have, man hair and, the big beard and everything. But they said that they didn't want it that bushy, so I had to trim it down. That kind of worked out for not being able to go to a barber or anything like that during the shutdown and everything. I just had to grow it out anyway.
Yeah, the only other time I grew out a goatee was like in 2013,
Luke,
I was supposed to be.
Nobody gives a shit about your goatee stories, man.
Yeah. Well, it's it's for a play. Yeah.
I care about history.
Maybe
All right, well then, I'm sorry.
It's gonna go away in a month probably. As soon as my girlfriend gets to feel it, then I'll be like, okay, we're good. She's like, you can't shave it until like I get to feel it. So
Where is she?
yeah. Well, she's here in town, but yeah, we haven't actually physically been next to each other in like 50 days or whatever it is. Just because she's a bit more high risk with a lessened immune system type thing. I won't get into any more detail.
He's been
Yeah.
he's with me, so
She has
Luke's really
AIDS,
been
so-
he's really been looking at me like kind of with a hunger behind the eyes. Yeah.
Those hungry eyes.
Yeah.
Well, what's so wrong about having a three-way with your two roommates? Like,
If you were gonna have a three-way with your roommates, Nick, who's in the middle?
Probably have to put Austin in the middle because he's just more compact.
Yeah, that makes
okay.
sense.
Yeah, it's you guys are like the slices of bread. You and Bobby Benedict, and then Austin Bach in the middle. So how did you meet those two cool cats?
Austin, Bobby,
Yeah.
comedy.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Just out at open mics, and then you.
yeah, just go to open mics, and yeah, we all liked each other's stuff and started hanging out more together. Kind of when we first really started hanging out, as when we went on this road trip a few years ago. I had to go to a wedding in South Dakota, and Bobby had to go to a wedding a week later in Minnesota. We're like, let's just plan like a comedy road trip tour thing, and take a couple of weeks to go out and back and see how many shows we can do. And then Austin wasn't doing anything, so he came along, and yeah, we went to Salt Lake, Laramie, Wyoming, Omaha, Nebraska, then Sioux Falls. We stayed in Sioux Falls for almost a week. That's where my wedding was, and then we went up to Mankato in Minnesota, and then we just kind of made the trip back in 2 days of just straight driving. It was a pretty fun trip. Lots of misadventures and fun times. We bonded, we fought, we laughed.
Hijinks.
Yeah, we had some good hijinks.
Okay.
Yeah, the worst stop was the first night in Salt Lake City. I should say I booked a show at a coffee shop on a Sunday at 4:00, which is a smart move in Salt Lake City, Mormontown. Like nobody really drinks coffee anyways, and everything's shut down on Sundays because people are at church. So like absolutely nobody showed up to it. So we just kind of like shot random videos in the coffee shop for a while. And then also the coffee shop didn't advertise at all. Like I sent them posters and asked them if they could put stuff up on their Facebook page and all that shit. And they're like, absolutely nothing. And we showed up and they're just, oh yeah, I guess there was something on the chalkboard for it. You guys can set up in the back somewhere. I don't know. And yeah, it was pretty shitty. It was a cool start to the trip. But then the next day we stopped in Laramie, Wyoming, and we booked a show at a barcade. I think it was like 8-Bite Barcade or something. It's closed now, which sucks because that place was fucking awesome. It had just some killer food, a lot of really fun people. Like we were setting up when we first got there, and we didn't think anybody was actually going to show up. And then people started trickling in. They were ordering food, kind of sitting around where we're going to be performing. And then when we're just about to start, I go up to them like, I'm so sorry, guys. We're about to start a comedy show. If you want to stick around, that'd be cool. If not, like, I totally understand. They're like, oh, no, that's why we came here. We all love comedy. We saw your post, and we wanted to see you. And they were a fucking awesome crowd. And I wish we could have gone back to perform there again because they actually asked us to come back, but then they fucking closed down. So then more fun hijinks ensued for the next couple of weeks. Yeah, and then like 2 years after that, Bobby bought a house, and then Austin and John Allgood moved in, and I was still in my own apartment. Then Allgood moved out. Then Bobby offered me a spot, so I moved in.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I guess I didn't know it was Bobby's house that he had purchased. But...
Yeah, he bought it with his adult job money.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually getting...
What a loser.
Yeah.
Freaking loser, man.
Ooh.
Adult job.
So do you think that why do people hurt each other, Nick?
Well, there's something called a sadist and there's a masochist, and when they get together, it's kind of this good relationship between them when one person wants to hurt the other and the other person wants to receive the pain, and it's just a nice symbiotic relationship.
I'm the masochist.
I see your little torture device you have in the back there.
Yeah.
That's kind of our third co-host is Luke's inversion table.
It's you can't go without mentioning it. Yeah. I don't know. Have you ever been on an inversion table before?
No, I have not.
Okay. It makes you taller. It stretches out your ankles. I'm going for that ankle height, I don't know.
So do you think that suicide is justifiable in any, or maybe like mercy killings, like euthanasia?
Oh, that's a good question. Where is that book? Where is it? It's got to be here somewhere. Of course, now I can't find it. Ah, there it is.
Ah, perfect. This is, Nick finding a book for us.
Albert Camus discusses in The Myth of Sisyphus, in the very first essay, it's all about whether it's absurdity and suicide. He talks about the greatest philosophical question you can ask yourself is whether or not you're going to continue living or commit suicide or not. And every day that you're alive, you decide that life is worth living and going on to live. So all of us are not finding the absolute absurdity of life and going on to continue living. But there are those people that succumb to the crushing absurdity of existentialism, of this existence, and decide to off themselves. And that's their business. But personally, I don't think it's a great decision. There's this other book by Jennifer Michael Hecht called Stay. That's all about the history and philosophy of suicide, and the arguments for and against it. And people have kind of gone back and forth throughout history on whether it's a good thing to commit suicide, whether it's morally right or wrong or reprehensible and everything. For the most part, people think it's a bad idea, but every now and again, like in the Enlightenment era, people are like, yeah, if you want to kill yourself, kill yourself. But no, I think she kind of goes over a few arguments that I find pretty compelling. Like one is suicide clusters. If one person commits suicide, there's more people in their social circle that are more likely to commit.
It's like a yawn. You're just and then other people have to yawn.
The other one that I found pretty compelling is that you're kind of depriving yourself of your own future. It's kind of the Buddhist thought of impermanence. Nothing's permanent. Of course, you're hurting right now, but in the future, you're not going to be hurting. Here you have a chance to be happy, so you shouldn't deprive yourself of that chance to be happy in the future. So try to just get through the pain right now, so you can have that chance to heal and get better and feel happy again in the future. And of course, when you're feeling happy, you got to know that you're going to feel pain again in the future. So it's kind of that cycle that you got to keep focused on, so you don't let yourself succumb to the ever crushing dread of being alive.
And that's really sound advice for anybody that might be feeling down. It actually leads me to my next question. Like, where do you find meaning in your life?
Well, this book. I think right now I've been studying a lot about Buddhism and mindfulness meditation and all that, and that's been a good way to find meaning in everyday life. I think it's a good way to just be able to recognize the small things that are going on in your life, that just kind of being self-aware of all the little things that are happening, and not letting your emotions get out of control and take over, and just being mindful of what's going on and finding the beauty in just the small everyday occurrences that are happening in your life. And also taquitos. I think taquitos bring a lot of meaning to my life. Just something about a nice, good crispy taquitos straight out of the oven that brings joy.
Sounded like a martial art. I was like, oh, you do taquito? And I was like, oh no, it's the little rolled up tacos. Sorry. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, yeah, just finding meaning in everyday life is kind of important, I think. And it's pretty easy to get lost and overwhelmed by everything that's going on, especially right now with, all the trepidation and anxiety about what's going to happen in the future with, people dying. Am I still going to have a job in a month? What's the economy going to look like? Am I going to be able to do comedy ever again? Am I going to be able to perform? Yeah. All that stuff. It's easy to get overwhelmed, but it's good to just kind of take time and focus on the small things in your life and just kind of try to find balance.
Yeah, just don't worry about the future. Just focus on what's happening right now.
Yeah, you can really only focus
That's all. Yeah.
Stay in the moment, like improv.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Definitely. I mean, it's improv. Would you say it's sort of like almost a form of mindfulness meditation in a way? I don't know about meditation per se, but it's a form of like mindful practice if you do it correctly.
Mindful and pay attention to what's going on in the moment.
Yeah.
I don't know if it really be a meditation or not.
No, I just...
you definitely need to practice mindfulness and pay attention to what's going on. And you can't think too far ahead and expect...
Yeah, exactly.
And otherwise, you're going to just hijack the scene and take it to where you want and not going to be a good scene partner. And, you can't think I fucked that last scene up. Just and dwell on that for the
past.
That was
the audience
that was
isn't
actually
thinking about.
That was actually the problem with the guy I was talking to, that hard man. He just fucked up something in his life too, so he was feeling pretty down about that. And I was telling him, just stay in the moment. It's all good.
Are you talking about yourself, Michael? The hard man?
Where did you come across this hard man?
Yeah.
Was he just out wandering outside the front yard, or what? What was going on?
Yeah, he wasn't having a good day. He was just out there, and he's feeling down. He messed up earlier on. He was having a cry, and I heard his story, and it was pretty sad. What's up? What's up, Luke?
Did you give the hard man a hug or like?
No, we stayed 6 feet away from each other.
Okay. You just did the elbow thing, or okay.
I did I did like a double tap on my heart, and I pointed at him like you could see it on my camera, but you guys can't see it. But
I can see it in my mind.
Yeah.
Michael's picture.
Michael's like Mike Pence. He can't get sick. He's impervious to it.
Well, I mean, I had my mask on. It's kind of like what's it called? Like a balaclava? A baklava? It's not like baklava. It's like a balaclava.
Baklava is a dessert.
Yeah. The mask.
The ski mask.
Yeah, there was a ski mask I was wearing. It was giving me some protection.
Nice.
But yeah, he's gone now. He was feeling pretty down. Anyway, Nick, would you say that is the meaning of life the same for humans as it is for animals?
Oh. I don't really know what the meaning of life is.
Yeah. I would think we would like to think we're more important, but in the grand scheme of things, like, eventually the world will just, like, get engulfed by the sun, and at that point, were we any more meaningful than any animal? I don't know.
Yeah, it's just kind of to be and exist, but, humans throw a lot more shit on top of it to make things more complicated. Like, I think Avril Lavigne got it right. Why'd you have to go and make things so complicated?
Yeah. Quit acting like you're somebody else.
Gets me so frustrated.
Yeah.
And she, of course, married the guy from Nickelback who once said,
look at this photograph.
Look at this photograph. Thank you.
Wow. And before, she was married to a guy from Sum 41 who said, storming at the party like my name is El Nino. But, like, why you gotta storm? Just be,
Yeah, just waft in there like a nice summer and exist. Make people's lives...
Existing in the party like my name is Buddha.
What will happen to the future of the human race long after we're gone?
I was watching this neat documentary on Disney Plus about like the humans in the year 1 million, about the future of human advancement, and it seems like we're slowly going to progress into just becoming digital copies of ourselves and just being in an electronic universe. And I think that's the stage of our evolution, is just becoming disembodied.
One giant server farm.
Yeah. I think that's our future. Maybe that's why aliens don't contact us. When you get to a certain evolutionary point, you evolve beyond the need of a body, and then you don't really care about contacting any creature that does have a body.
Possible. Although, like, the Pentagon actually admitted a couple of days ago, they released some videos that they're like, these are UFOs. I guess nobody really paid attention to it because all the corona news. But
yeah, I watched those. They're just kind of like grainy videos.
Yeah. Well, it's like taken from an aircraft or something.
Yeah, but
I don't know. The Pentagon was like, sure, fuck it, these are real. Go for it. Knock yourselves out.
They're just unidentified flying objects. They could be, some secret test experiment. They could be something natural that we can't explain.
Yeah, they never said, oh, this is alien. It could be like, there could be creatures around us that like just move really fast. Like we almost look like fucking trees to them.
Or like creatures who live on a fourth or a fifth dimension, like who just occasionally lapse into our third dimension, something like that. That'd be kind of neat.
Are you talking about ghosts, or what is the fourth or fifth dimension?
Maybe they're ghosts. Maybe that's what an alien life form is from another universe that has creatures that live in an extra dimension. And every now and again, that universe lapses with our universe, and they just kind of have these little crossover paths.
So what you're saying, they're intergalactic, planetary, intergalactic, another dimension. Yeah,
more interdimensional than intergalactic.
Now, I think I was talking to this really hard man a little while ago, and he was telling me a little bit about an alien encounter that he kind of messed up, and he made it a little bit wrong. He said that he was outside, but he was telling me about the alien encounter he had down, like he just called ice.
Dun dun dun. What did ICE do? Did they come and pick up the hard man?
No, well, ICE's umbrella is still there, so I mean, I think maybe they might have. But I hope he comes back for it. The wind's starting to pick up. He was not having a good day. He didn't like aliens, from what I was gathering.
Mike, is this hard man just you? I get the feeling that you're just talking to yourself about yourself in the third person.
Let's go on to the next question here. Let's see here. Is it?
I got one.
Okay.
So what's your favorite Weezer song?
It's got to be the Sweater song. That's
okay. If you want to destroy my sweater. Well, you're a lover of sweaters, right?
I only wear my cardigan.
Cardigans. I mean, it's a cardigan sweater, right?
Yeah, I'm still a fan of sweaters. Yeah, but for some reason this winter I didn't really wear it all that often. Just a handful of times. Just wasn't feeling the sweater this season. Maybe next year I'll start wearing it again. But yeah, I do enjoy.
You mean later this year you might wear the sweater? Or no?
I still kind
in
of
December.
I kind of think of everything based on school years.
Seasons. Oh, okay.
The year starts in August, September, and ends in June.
Gotcha. You're like, what? There's a new year in January?
That's weird.
What are you guys smoking?
Too much time in the educational world it's just kind of indoctrinated me. Even though I haven't worked in education or been in school in 5 years, it's still I still have that thinking.
Now, is that what you did? You lived in Japan for a while. Were you a teacher over there?
Yeah, I taught English. At first, I did 3 years teaching English in some high schools. Then I taught in a few different high schools. They kind of sent me around throughout the week. My main high school was an academic high school where everyone was studying really hard to get into a good university. Another one was more of like an art school, and it was like 99% women and like just two really lonely, weird, awkward dudes. One of them was a fishery high school where everyone was training to work in the fishing industry. And they just didn't give a fuck about learning English. Like, we're never going to use this. We're not going to go to college or anything. The thing is, like, those students every year they took this extended trip on a fishing boat to catch tuna in Hawaii, where they'd actually get a chance to use their English thing. Be like, I don't know, enough people know Japanese out there. We don't need to learn English. After that, I worked for a couple of years in Eikaiwa, which is like an after-school tutoring program specifically focusing on English conversational skills. And I taught students from as young as 4, and my oldest student was like 70.
Oh, wow.
So it was just kind of a whole range of people. And then after that, I went to grad school to get my master's in library information studies in the University of British Columbia in Vancouver. And then I took a hard left turn and started doing comedy and voiceovers and shit like that. Like halfway through that program, like, I don't think I want to actually become a librarian, but I made it this far, so might as well finish. And I was kind of like doing my studies on the side while starting to do more comedy and voiceover work. And
you were doing it just for the librarian jokes, man.
I wish I could have seen that far ahead. I'm going to get a bunch of debt so I can do a couple of throwaway things.
And is it true in Japan that they call English class English class? Ooh.
No, it's English in Japanese is ego.
Ego?
Ego. Like in Romaji, that would be E-I-G.
Yeah.
So it'd be like Lego to ego, like let's go to English.
Yes, exactly.
Cool.
Yeah, and in Korea it was young all day. Almost sounds like young all day, but young all day. And in English, it's English.
Yeah.
Fun fact. Yeah. English.
So would you say that is that what it means to live a good life? Like even like you're studying, you're getting your master's, you're becoming a wizard of librariacy, and then one day you decide, no, I want to make people smile and laugh instead, and do great clever voices.
Maybe, follow your heart and all that bullshit. I think, there is something to finding your true passion in life and going out and trying to follow it. But, there's also, you got to actually pay bills and shit and make sure you can live and survive. And not everybody has the ability and the luck to actually make a living off of doing that sort of shit. Like right now, I still don't have, I'm not lucky enough to make it full time off of doing all that shit. But it's kind of like the pursuit of those passions is, what gives life meaning.
Yes.
Like actually stepping into my day job every day isn't giving me a whole lot of meaning, but it's, putting a roof over my head while I pursue other passions. And hopefully someday I'll make enough money off of that other shit to quit my daily bullshit.
Yeah.
Yeah. What would, do you have like any goals as far as like comedy or voiceover work, or like, I think it'd be really cool to have you like on some Adult Swim show, like on an animated show.
Yeah, I don't have any specific goals. My first goal is just to quit my day job. That's my first big milestone. Whatever that looks like, if I can do that through writing or comedy, voiceovers, acting, whatever, I don't care. And also, I want to do all of those different things. So it's just being able to do anything like that. I think it would be fun to have my own cartoon, write it and do voiceover work for it. But honestly, just doing anything creative, I just like to perform and write and create. So just being able to do anything creative full time would be the dream. And like, I don't even want to become rich or famous or anything. I just want to be able to pay bills and like have my own house. And even just my own apartment would be.
And you want people to refer to you as a Nick Josten, Renaissance man.
Yeah,
that's part of it.
That's good. And then with that actually brings us to today's sponsor. So we're going to take a quick ad break. Thank you for joining us at the Dead Panda podcast.
God, my mind is just in jumbles over what was going on with that hard-bodied man.
Where did you come across this hard man?
Maybe I should tell them. Maybe it's just in here. Maybe it's all inside me. Who knows? Kind of prefer it that way. God, I wonder if I'll ever truly find myself. Nobody really knows how sad I am deep inside. I don't show it, not on the outside. A little bicep action there for everybody. That hard-bodied man, though, I'm thinking about it.
Are you talking about yourself, Michael? The hard man?
I don't know where he is. He's a good friend. I hope he's okay. I'm starting to feel pretty down about it. Ooh, I feel diarrhea.
Yourself, Michael? The hard man?
Oh, what's that? That's probably nothing. Alright.
Throat coat. Thanks, throat coat.
That wasn't
Yeah.
that wasn't our sponsor. Welcome back.
Yeah.
We're here with the beautiful and I would say kind of like a Reno comedy sex symbol, Nick Josten.
T-burps. Is the hard the sponsor?
Talk.
Who's sponsoring the podcast?
It picks up later in the holiday season who the sponsors are. I've noticed. Right now, it's just the podcast publisher is sponsoring us.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So I'm a Reno sex symbol in the Reno comedy world, huh?
Yeah, specifically in like the younger generation is really seeing you as kind of this Don Juan figure, like you kind of carry yourself with this air of like a mysterious, musky, I would say, sexuality. And if you were going to give a tip to say to a nice little young buck, like that really was feeling down on himself for maybe a mistake he made with some people from a different area, and then like how would you make him feel a little more attractive to them?
Well, if you're going for my muskiness, then just don't shower for a couple of days while you're trapped in quarantine. Yeah, that's I guess don't give too much of a fuck about anything.
Right. Okay. That'll be very helpful to that person.
Just like the dude in The Big Lebowski, and also in Deuteronomy. Just kind of just be who you are, bro.
Isn't Deuteronomy the book like full of rules and laws though? Like, pretty sure. I think that's the opposite of what the dude stands for.
Do the opposite of Deuteronomy.
Okay. So what's your favorite band other than Weezer that starts with a W?
Favorite?
White Stripes, Wilco. Just
I've been listening to a lot of her name's Mattiel, I think. Matti.
Yeah, that's an upside down W. So Mattiel.
Yeah. Who's
Mattiel? Or how do you spell that?
Mattiel. She's just some American singer-songwriter that I don't even know how to describe her style. I'm not really super into music. Like, I enjoy music. I don't really know too much about it. I just heard her on the radio one day and then downloaded all her shit on Spotify. And yeah, I'd recommend giving her a listen.
And you heard it. That's this week's music recommendation from our guest. Her name is Mattiel.
I think that's how you pronounce it. I'm not entirely sure.
Yeah, I like this lady. You probably haven't heard of her. She's really underground, like Adele. Yeah.
I'm gonna say it. Unpopular opinion. Adele's overrated. She played out. Her time's come and gone.
She did burn pretty bright.
Yeah, well, like she heard her voice, didn't she? Like, but that's why she hasn't done an album in a while. But
she come out with an album like a year or two ago. It didn't hit quite as hard.
Oh, I don't think she's had an unsuccessful album. I think it was like she kind of got forced into retirement from a voice injury, but apparently she's rehabbing with that. But
I think she got hitched and she's having a family and all that bullshit now.
that's fully possible. I'm not an Adele expert by any means.
Well, I mean,
through a newsletter.
What's that? No. I just spent many nights crying listening to her soulful music.
There was one night, I like a couple of years ago, I met up with one of my old high school buddies, and we was drinking in a bar, and that one song, I heard that you're over now, whatever that fucking song is.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just kind of like stopped, like fuck this song, because it started bringing back memories of a recent breakup, and like that's bullshit, and it was just every now and again she just hits you right in the heart, unexpected. And also, I just thought we were done with listening to her music all the time. Like it's not 2012 anymore. Like why is that shit still playing just randomly on a bar radio?
Yeah, hello from the never side, because we're never gonna listen to you again, Adele.
Yeah.
I don't know, like I haven't heard it in a long time, but the song that's been stuck in my head is "If You Seek Amy" by Britney Spears. Have you heard that? It's pretty terrible. It's just a pun on like all the boys and all the girls are begging to "If you seek Amy." Like it.
You know what song?
They just wanted to say "fuck me" on the radio. That's all she was trying to do.
You know what song still pops into my head that hasn't been on the airwaves in like more than a decade, probably. It's the pizza in the morning, pizza in the evening, pizza at supper time. When
pizza's on a bagel, you can eat pizza anytime. Yeah.
Bobby's never heard that song before. I was surprised.
That's interesting because I feel like he would love to eat a couple of bagel bites.
Oh yeah, he definitely loves bagel bites. He's just never heard the jingle.
I was poor and I heard bagel bites all the time. They used to just sing it that was what we'd sing on the bus on the ride to school. God.
You wouldn't do wheels on the bus, go round and round or anything, just the...
Yeah, there was another one. There was a board game. There was like this game. It was kind of like Battle Tops, but it was called Crossfire, and there was a song and be like, don't get caught in the crossfire. Yeah, that was another one we would sing.
And you shoot little BBs across the table, you hit little spinny things.
Yeah, I feel like I haven't looked it up on eBay recently, but I think those go for a lot of money now.
Yeah, I'd imagine that game was awesome.
I would love to fucking play it, like, honestly.
Also, like, that makes me think, like, if there was if a perfect clone existed of you, would it also be you? Or, like, if it had the exact same manner as you, like a mirror, or would it act differently? And if it acted differently, then would it still be you? At what point would the clone not be you? And would destroying your clone be considered suicide? I'm asking for a friend.
Where we cloned like at birth, like as a zygote, and then we kind of grew separately, or did you like take me as I am right now and like full body scan and like a clone right next to me pops up?
Yeah, let's go with that one. Yeah, let's go with that one.
Like at that moment of creation, I think we would be exactly the same, but then we would start experiencing things differently, so we'd grow to be different people.
And you would eat different things, like you would both eat taquitos, but he might like the shredded beef, and you would have the...
I think, gradually over time, our tastes might change a little bit. Our experiences would be different. We wouldn't experience things exactly the same way.
So like 2 weeks? Like about 2 weeks in?
Yeah, I don't know. Hey, I don't change a whole hell of a lot, so it might take longer. I'm pretty set in my ways, pretty happy with who I am for the most part, but yeah, I think we would think similarly, but over time we'd gradually change into different people.
All right, so if I took a pool cue and snapped it in half and threw original Nick, you, like the sharp half, and said, now kill him, is that suicide or is that murder?
I think we just talk it out. If I know me, we wouldn't want to kill either one of ourselves because we love each other so much. We'd probably do a fake lightsaber battle for a little while. Then we'd pretend to die in a have you ever seen? Oh God, what's that British show with Simon Pegg? Spaced, or they all the dudes in that show just they get a look in their eye and they know to do a pretend gun battle with each other. They actually use that to get out of getting mugged at one point. They do a pretend gun battle with the muggers, and then they're able to run away. I think Clone Nick and me, Nick, would probably just do something like that with the pool cues. We'd pretend to fight for a little while, and then one of us would pretend to be dead, and then we just go get a cup of coffee.
But what if you didn't know you were the clone? Like, would you want to know if you were the clone or not? Like, they were just like, yeah, one of you is the clone, one of you isn't. Like,
why would I not know that I'm the clone? Like, do you
memory swap in them or something? What the hell?
Well, like,
I
mean, the clone will have like all the memories, and they think they're the real person.
But,
just like the real
original
person
Nick was in the room. He watched himself being cloned. So
okay, so that's
his whole scanning process.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I think I would trust.
Well, like the clone remembers that too, or does he?
Well, it doesn't matter if the clone knows. The clone would think, and then everybody else would just be like, no, that's why we put this mark on your head, so we could know that you're the clone when you came fresh out of the oven. And then here's the thing about clones. What if he does the same resume as me? So what if he went out and got a better job than me? Then I would want to kill him and just take his job. But then I'm only getting one income, so maybe I would just tell him to go do my job.
God, if he wanted my day job, he could have it. I wouldn't argue with him at all about it. But I think we could team up and be like a good comedy duo. We could do tube and throat singing together and like have even more pitchiness, have like 4 octaves going at the same time.
Damn. You can do a little bit of tube and throat singing?
I dabble. I don't know. I'm not warmed up. I don't know.
Okay. Yeah, I wouldn't. I was going down that path. But
I don't know. Like,
if it takes.
I couldn't decide whether you wanted us to ask, like, hey, could you share some? If you want to, you can. If you don't want to, we aren't going to force you to.
I posted something on Facebook, kind of jokingly, like, hey, does anybody know a voice teacher that knows that specializes in tube and throat singing? And one of my friends did know somebody, and I was gonna get in contact with them to start tube and throat singing voice lessons.
Yeah, you gotta hone your skill.
But I heard something that there's only like a third of the world's population that has there's some genetic defect in your throat that allows you to be able to do tube and throat singing. So not even everyone in the world's able to do it. Like only the world's population is able to do it, and then you have to go through special training and lessons and everything like that to be able to actually do it. So it kind of sucked to go through all the training to find out that you're in the 2/3 population that can't even do it.
All right, so let's do just a quick improv scene. And here's your guys' topic. Nick, you are a tube and throat singing master. You're the teacher, and Luke is one of the people that just doesn't have the. Luke just doesn't have one of the. Luke just doesn't have any of the genetic.
No teaching scenes, Mike. Okay, maybe it's not a teaching scene. It's
he's playing the part of a teacher.
He's a teacher, but he's not teaching me. He's just okay.
And
anyway,
action.
What's up, bro?
Hey, Sensei. I'm coming along well, aren't I?
Cut. Okay.
Yeah.
Cut. Luke, do it as an Australian. All right, let's start from the top. And action.
G'day.
Hey.
I'm here for tube and throat singing.
Oh yeah, sure thing, Paul Hogan. Your last check cleared, so we can continue with the lessons. Your progress is really coming along. You're almost getting to that second octave. You're just getting so close. I'm really proud of you. It's probably just going to be like another year or two before you.
Oh, crikey, that's a long time. I don't know if I can hack it for that long.
All right, cut.
Just like this fucking accent. I can't keep it up.
Cut. Nick, you're doing great. You're beautiful and amazing. Luke, I your character is actually, I know I'm directing an improv scene here, but you're actually excited and you are looking forward to these 2 years spending these with your idol. So let's take it from his checks are cleared, but it's going to take 2 more years, and action.
Okay, am I supposed to do an Indian accent now?
All right, Sean Connery.
I'm
that would
fucking-
be-
I'm done with the scene, Michael. Fucking had it.
This is a problem with our improv skits on our show, Luke. You don't commit to them.
What are you drinking there?
Virgil's zero sugar lemon lime. It's for having no sugar, it's not bad.
We don't have.
I just
permission.
like how on these bottles there's always like some bearded dude, and then he's serving a couple of kids. I think I have another Virgil's bottle around here. Yeah, here's another. Here's the zero sugar black cream soda. Another bearded dude serving a couple of kids, which may or may not be his. I don't know.
Lumberjack, just
Yeah.
serving some sodas. I found some Australian root beer when I was in Winco. Like
What's-
or something like that.
What's the difference? It's just made there, or
It goes in the other direction when you drink it.
But
yeah,
it hasn't
that's kangaroo blood.
on the label. It says that you're supposed to tip it upside down before you drink it. So I think that's what really makes it Australian. Is that like my PE teacher in middle school would have us do Australian push-ups, where we lay on our back and just go like that.
Okay.
That's hilarious. He was a man with a sense of humor, or woman, I'm not sure.
Little Mr. Rippy. Yeah.
One time I actually had an inappropriate student-teacher relationship with a PE teacher, and she kept throwing frisbees at me that said things like that had like love notes in it. But one time the wind picked up and it got away from her, and it went to my friend Daniel, and then it got awkward because he thought that like she had a thing for him. Anyway, let's go on to the next question here. Let's see. Is it possible to live a normal life and never tell a lie?
I think I don't know. Sure. No. Yeah, everyone has to lie at some point. Even like little white lies. Like what like a malicious lie or just any lie whatsoever?
Any lie whatsoever. So yeah, I'm saying no on that one too.
Like that one Ricky Gervais meaning, the movie, the
Invention of lying, or yeah, because people are very like brutally honest with each other, but everyone's sort of desensitized to it since it's normal.
Yeah, is just for one person in the world who cannot lie, or is the entire world incapable of lying?
Yeah, everybody on the planet's a little Abraham Lincoln. Or a little George Washington, whichever one ate the cherries out of the jar.
Washington chopped down the cherry tree.
He told the truth about it.
He's like, Father, I cannot tell a lie. I chopped down the cherry tree and I cooked the chicken.
And his father looked to him and he's like, George, my boy, you can blame it on the help. Because he was a slave owner. He's a bad man.
I think like, if the entire world is incapable of lying, then yeah, you'd be able to lead a normal life. But if you're the only person in the world who can't lie in a world of other people who can fib, then yeah, it'd probably be a little difficult to go through life without being able to lie about anything.
Yeah, then you'd be that guy with Asperger's.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, Luke, what else we got for Nick? Keep going. Keep him going.
How did you get your start in comedy? Like, what made you say, oh, I want to try this? Was it improv or stand-up?
In high school, I was a huge theater nerd. Like, I was my drama club president and did thespian of the year and did all these. I did like 5 different plays a year throughout high school. And one of the things we did, we had a 2 or 3 week long improv workshop once a year. So that kind of got me started doing improv, and I just really enjoyed it. And then when I went to college, I joined the college improv team. It was a brand name improv, and we had weekly shows in the coffee shop, and we even got to tour around a little bit. It was just like around South Dakota, so like we drive 3 hours to the middle of nowhere and do a show, and then have to drive 3 hours back. Yeah, it was just a lot of fun. Really enjoyed doing it. But then when I lived abroad for a while, so I didn't have the opportunity. But when I was in grad school up in Vancouver in British Columbia, that's kind of like the LA of Canada. There's just a lot of history and everything like that, a lot of opportunity. I was just getting sick of grad school, and I wanted to do something fun again. So I found an improv place. It was Instant Theater. I started doing improv workshops there again. And then one of the people in my class was also a stand-up comedian, and she was just starting a new open mic in a bar, and she asked people to come out. So I decided to go one day to the first night of her open mic. It was like 3 hours later, and I was just kind of furiously writing in a notebook, like no, I'll be able to do it. I know how to improvise. I'll be fine up there. And then I just completely shit the bed that first time. We're supposed to do 5 minutes. I think I went on for 8, as I just kind of kept losing my spot and just going back and like reading verbatim what I had in my notes. It was just fucking terrible. And I probably wouldn't have gone back, but a couple of the audience members, it was their first date. It was this one guy that did body modification. So he was covered in tattoos, and he also had silicone devil horns.
Nice.
He was on his first date with this Betty Page-looking girl, and she came up to me after I got done. She just gave me this long pep talk, like through the entire next guy's set, and was like, "No, I don't think you're supposed to talk while the other guy's up." She's like, "No, honey, you did so good. You're so nervous up there. There's so many funny spots. You just need to practice. Come back. You need to come back." Like, okay, if you go and sit back down, I'll come back. Just please be quiet. So then, I just kept going back and trying stand up more and more. And just Vancouver had a really nice scene. And I got invited to do other shows around the area and do some pro-am shows at actual comedy clubs. Like my first time performing at a comedy club, Harlan Williams was in town filming a sitcom. And I guess he was just kind of dropping in at that comedy club whenever he felt like it. And the manager said, "Oh yeah, Harlan Williams might come in tonight. We don't know, but if he comes in, we're just going to bump somebody so he can perform." And then I was about to go up. I was, next in line, and then the manager comes back like, "Harlan Williams is in. He's going after you." And he points at me, and I was like already nervous enough. I'm like, fuck. Like I only been doing stand up for like a month by that point, and. You're
opening for Harlan Williams.
The green room. And like I remember him from like Half Baked and Rocket Man and all that. Like I remember him from movies from when I was a kid, and I was a little starstruck. And then immediately after he walks in and says hi to everybody, I have to go out and perform. Mm-hmm. And I do my 5 minutes, and it goes pretty well enough. And I go back in the green room, and Harlan Williams like, "Yeah, pretty good job, man." And I was too nervous and scared to say anything, so I was like, and just grabbed a bottle of water and walked out. And then eventually I had to move back down to Reno, and found the comedy scene down here and started doing shit around Reno.
And we're glad to have you. I like you.
Oh, I like you too. Man.
Yeah, you were actually the first comedian I met here, because I randomly wandered into Pioneer Underground one night, and you were performing there, and Wayne let me in and watch for free, and you just told me where the open mics were, and went to some of those, and then performed at the Underground for like a year and a half, and then now I only perform there for improv. That's it.
Yeah, hopefully we can go back there again for improv.
Yeah, we'll see.
I kind of miss doing that. I kind of miss the comedy collective people.
We had just performed on our first show because all of you guys were gone, like doing plays and other stuff, and it went fairly well for having like one official practice, like with our team, and then we got thrown up there. Yeah, wasn't too bad actually.
Yeah, that's kind of what they do there. It's just kind of they just throw you to the wolves, and you have to.
Yeah, I'm like, how is this gonna be good? But it worked out. The audience enjoyed it, so.
When I joined them, they just invited me to play around at their practices every now and again, and then they needed people for their Art Town shows. So they're like, "All right, just You're in now. I didn't even know I was
Hopefully,
officially in until I got a paycheck for the year's performances in December.
oh, okay.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, I just thought I was, playing around with them. And it's, no, I think it's good. Just kind of like sink or swim. Just join in and start playing.
Man, I really hope July shows happen for Art Town, but
Yeah,
we'll see at this point.
And I really think that the hard-bodied man would really, I think he's going to start going to improv playgrounds. I really told him that it, helped me learn how to listen more and express myself a little bit. So hopefully he'll start going back. I mean, start going. Um,
yeah, those improv. The playgrounds are a lot of fun to drop in on. And I did. I guess Reno Improv's gonna start up with some online Zoom improv classes pretty soon.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Tim Mahoney was doing some practice rounds for narrative improv on Zoom. There's a few people, and I joined in on those classes, and it's different, but it's nice to be able to still improvise with people and play around and get some playtime in. Because right now it sucks, like not being able to, like, I love performing. What makes me happiest is going out and making people laugh and just being a jackass in front of people, and I haven't been able to do that for so fucking long. Like, even though I live with two comedians, it's not the same. Like, we'll sit around and crack wise and everything like that, but it's not the same unless you have the audience there, and it's just I miss it, man.
Yep. She'll be back. She'll be back.
Yeah, you think things are gonna go back to relative? Yeah.
I mean, probably not for a while. Like, there's going to be like a transitionary period, and especially if it's like they say, oh, it's going to come back with a vengeance later this year. So maybe we'll go back to normal, like packed shows next year. I don't know. But
I'm worried about them doing shows but still trying to maintain social distancing.
yeah, like,
Have you ever heard of Todd Glass's rules for comedy clubs? Like, you're supposed to have low ceilings, and everyone's supposed to be packed in tight together, and it's supposed to be dark and everything like that.
mhm.
And that kind of breeds laughter, is being that close to each other, and you can just hear any little chuckle. It kind of gives you permission to laugh as well. But if everybody's 6 feet apart from each other and spread out, it's just,
you laugh? Okay.
I think it's going to be different and challenging. I don't know if it's going to go back to exactly the same. At least not until there's a vaccine and shit like that.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
But,
Until we get light and heat and bleach in our bodies and our lungs, like, then things will be back to normal.
Yeah.
I'm been way ahead on the bleach in my body. I've been bleaching for days.
Bleaching your butthole.
Yeah.
In your opinion, Nick, who would make a better president, Donald Trump or Joe Exotic, the Tiger King?
I think Joe Exotic. He at least seems to care about things. He doesn't seem like a complete sociopath. Like,
Okay.
he's a redneck meth addict, but if we could get Joe Exotic when he first opened up his animal sanctuary, then he was, like, when he started that, it seemed like really good intentions, and then
After he lost his husband, he got really crazy.
Yeah, like he got crazier and crazier. But like when he first started out and was going to schools and teaching them about not doing drugs through the power of magic and animals, then I'd have him as president over Donald Trump. But I'd have most anybody as president over Donald Trump. Like, it's pretty hard to fuck up this badly on so many levels and just be this evil. And
Well, like, I was thinking there's always a rally around a flag moment after something bad happens. Like in 9/11, after that happened, like, George W. Bush was like the most popular president ever, pretty much. But then Trump, his polls went up for like a week, and then people were like, oh he's still kind of a cock. Okay. Well,
no, he's just siphoning.
like, he really could have united everyone. That's, yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, we try not to get too political, but I thought you You worked for the Warren campaign, or?
Yeah, I volunteered for him. I did.
Yeah,
I knocked on doors and tried to get people to caucus for her, and I guess I didn't do a very good job because
yeah. It's all you fucking.
And
but yeah,
well,
for like a month and a half, 2 months, like every Wednesday, I'd go out for like 3, 4 hours, and they'd give me a list, and I just kind of wander around checking off the list and try to get people to caucus for one.
You think Biden has a prayer come fall or not?
Yeah, it's just he's not my first choice. I definitely want someone more progressive, but
yeah.
he's definitely a lot better than Trump, and he's competent.
Well, he'll at least have competent people around him, not just like yes men.
All
There's
right.
Like Trump has fired like everyone.
All right, guys,
Just
I
start
don't
it off.
mean to interrupt this hot button topic,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
how do you get people to campaign for Nick Josten? Where do you want people to find you and look you up if they're interested in seeing anything you do? You have very funny Instagram posts. The Evil Puppies is hilarious. Like, why don't you plug everything? Because we gotta.
Yeah.
If you want to find me on Facebook, I'm Nick Josten. I created that account when I was in Japan, so my actual if you look at the URL, it says niku.josuten, the Japanese pronunciation of my name. On Instagram, I'm at Nick_Josten. So Instagram at @just_Nick_Josten. Then on Twitter, I'm at Nick Josten. And then, yeah, I haven't posted any Evil Puppies for a while, but if you want to follow that, there's an Instagram page. I think it's, at evil.puppies. I should start that up again. I just kind of got distracted with other things.
For sure.
Do I have any other social media? I think I have
Some of your characters.
Yeah, if I have a bunch of characters every time.
You're like, what? Those are real people.
I have a bunch of characters that
Big stuffing.
Yeah, I do. And whenever I create a new character, I kind of create a social media account for them. So there's Bartholomew Stranglethorpe, who is Reno's poet laureate and skee ball champion. There's Dick Aiken, fanny pack enthusiast. There's one I created for Halloween named Jeffrey Pettigrew, who was an accountant for a tea company. And, he was a teetotaler. Then I just never did anything else with that. I think there's a few others out there that just kind of fell off. But yeah, I've been kind of working on scripts for doing some one-man sketch vlog things for YouTube for Dick Aiken and Bartholomew Stranglethorpe. So those might be coming out in a while. And both of those are on YouTube are just, Dick Aiken, fanny pack enthusiast, and Bartholomew Stranglethorpe. So I should just make one channel so everyone can find the same the characters, so they don't have to try to follow 3 different channels. Maybe get more traffic that way. But I don't know, fuck it. So you can find me on things. If you want, just give me a call late at night. My phone number is 77.
All right. Well, thank you very much for being our guest this week, Nick. We love having you around. You're one of the main pillars of the Reno comedy community.
So thank you for having me on.
Yeah.
I hope to give you a nice hard-body hug someday and stroke that nice goatee.
All right. Well,
Mm-hmm.
I'll let my friend know. Thanks, Nick. All right. Thank you, everybody, for watching.
All right. Later.